Welcome back to Breakthrough Fitness NOLA. I'm Adam the trainer. In today's video, we're going to talk about the metabolic effects resistance training have on chronic disease. The diseases we're going to talk about will be diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity. Also, I would like to talk about how resting metabolic rate and post-exercise oxygen consumption comes into play because of resistance training. But before we jump into this video, take a moment to consider to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. It really helps my channel and it really helps it grow. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to get alerted when we upload at Breakthrough Fitness NOLA new content for your entertainment purposes. So let's just dive right into the video. The first disease we're going to talk about is diabetes. What is diabetes? To keep it simple, diabetes is when we eat food, especially in the form of carbohydrates, and our body breaks the carbohydrates down into glucose. And then because of the glucose that's in our body, your body responds by releasing a hormone called insulin. But when you're diabetic, the insulin doesn't work because the insulin is responsible for the sugar to get onto the cell to be able to be moved into the muscles or whatever working organ that it needs. And when the insulin doesn't work, the sugar that sits out there into the blood, and when your doctor runs a test, usually the A1C, it will be elevated because that is just a number saying that you have an abnormal high amount of sugar in your blood, and that is toxic to the body. Now, how does resistance training help? When you're resistance trained, you're using the muscles. And inside the muscles, you have all kind of nutrients. So because you're using the muscles and breaking those nutrients down, the body needs to replenish them. So you're basically emptying your gas tank. So when you finish your workout, usually everything, and maybe about 90% of the food you're going to consume will be burned and also utilized in the muscles that you use for that activity. So you're basically refilling your gas tank. Just think about it like that. You're emptying your gas tank when you exercise, then you need to refill your gas tank after you exercise. So from that, you eat your post-exercise meal, your body releases insulin. Because of the exercise, your muscles are hungry, so it's going to respond to the insulin, letting the sugar go onto the cells to be brought to the area that needs to be refilled, which is whatever muscles that you work. My recommendation for my clients, I like them to work upper and lower body movements. So that way they'll get more of the benefits of the exercises that they're done for that day. And it makes your body more susceptible to the food you eat to be utilized as fuel or to be restored for fuel for later use. We don't want that fuel to just be out there in the bloodstream that just going around. Everything has its proper place, just like your mom told you when she said pick up those toys. Okay? The next disease we're going to talk about is high blood pressure. What is high blood pressure? High blood pressure is any number on average that is over 120/80. So when you take your blood pressure, take it 2 or 3 times at the same time, preferably for those 3 days. Then get your average. If the average is over 120/80, you're chronically having high hypertension. That's high blood pressure. So you may want to go to your doctor to get it monitored, to get it checked out, because hypertension can happen for a whole bunch of reasons. It could be genetic. You could have high stress going on in your life. It just could be for a number of reasons that we can't outline them all in this video. So just know to go down to your physician and get checked out. But how resistance training helps, when you're doing exercise, especially resistance training, you're increasing your blood flow throughout your body. And like I said, I like my clients to do upper and lower body moves for the most benefits. So because of that activity, once again, your body's going to release a hormone. Remember, in diabetes, it releases insulin. With resistance training for high blood pressure, the hormone we're going to talk about is going to be nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is basically a vasodilator. And all that basically means, if you have narrow arteries, that's going to take more pressure for that blood to move through. Exercise help to release nitric oxide that vasodilates, mean relax and widen that blood vessel. And so now the blood can flow through there much easier with a lot less pressure. That's very important because we want to lower our blood pressure, and in doing so, we can use resistance exercise to help us. Now, in some cases, because of the matter of genetics and other factors, you may need some medication, but exercise, resistant exercise, can help manage that, where you won't have to be on such a high dosage, or if you're on it, you may be able to get off of it in the future. But just note that exercise is part of a management plan. It may not be the solution in all cases. Okay? My recommendation is, if you have high blood pressure, that you should just do resistance training at a lower intensity and add in more frequent breaks. If your blood pressure is good, means normal or lower, because you don't want it to be too low, but in the normal levels, then try to do circuit training. The intensity is higher, but because your blood pressure is in the correct range, it's safer, and we could get more work done. But whatever side you fall on, we can work to get better and improve our situation. Okay, so don't get discouraged. The next disease process we're going to touch on is obesity. A lot of people don't think obesity is a disease, but it actually is, because it opens you up to other chronic diseases in the form of diabetes and high blood pressure that we covered in this video. Okay, so obesity is basically mean you have a higher amount of fat mass than lean muscle mass that you're carrying around. But if we add resistance training, our body can convert some of that fat mass into lean muscle mass. And that has a lot of health beneficial properties, because we're changing the fat mass to lean muscle mass with that resistance training. We're also lowering our risk of diabetes and high blood pressure. See, I think, in my opinion, obesity starts the downhill slide of health issues. So we could get our health in control with managing our weight, that might help us miss the mark on a lot of those other chronic diseases that we already covered. So resistance training, if you're obese, let's say somebody started resistance training, exercise, but remember, let's not forget about the aerobic exercise. And also, we need, from previous videos, to control our calories if we're trying to lose weight. Or better yet, even if you're trying to gain weight, you need to control your calories, because you have to have a target that you need to achieve the goal that you set for yourself. But for this video, and for the most of the people that I deal with that's coming into my studio, Breakthrough Fitness NOLA, most of them is just trying to tone and lose weight. So because we bring in the resistance training, we're in managing our diet, lower calories, we're reducing our weight, but the resistance training is making us build lean muscle mass. And because of the activity, we're also utilizing the food, so it's not just lingering around in our blood, lowering our risk of diabetes. And we're also, because of the resistance training and activity, making our body release nitric oxide, which will help vasodilate our capillary veins and arteries, which will lower our blood pressure. All of those things are wonderful. Now we're going to talk about our resting metabolic rate. What is that? When you're at rest, even when you're not active, your body is burning calories to keep you alive. It's burning calories for your heart to beat. It's burning calories for your brain function to work. It's even burning calories for you to fight disease. And that's very important in the current times that we're living in right now. So all of those things is very, very, very important. I can't stress that enough. So when we resistance train, as we stated with obesity, we're changing that fat mass that is non-active, because fat don't burn calories, it just hangs around. to lean body mass, meaning muscle. Muscle burns a lot of calories at rest. That's why when you see a lot of people and they're muscular and they're active, they always burn more calories at the end of the day, even when they're not as active as they usually are, to inactive people. Because they have more body mass, which requires more calories to be burned at rest or during activity. That's why I try to keep my clientele engaged and tell them, when you start this program, let's try to keep it going, because we don't want to go back to where we started. We want to turn those bodies into fat burning machines. And all of that can be improved by resistance training, building that lean muscle. Okay? The last thing I want to talk about is post-exercise oxygen consumption. When you're doing activities, especially resistance training, you're putting your body into an O2 deficit. And what that basically means is we're not able to supply your body with enough oxygen to do the activity. And resistance training is the main exercise that's going to put you in an O2 deficit. Now, why is that important? Because when the exercise is over, your body will try to balance out your oxygen. And in the process of doing that, what is it going to burn? Calories. So once again, during the activity, you need more oxygen. So your body not receiving enough oxygen, so you get fatigue, mean muscle failure. And after your exercise is over and you're trying to recover, your body is trying to balance out the oxygen it needs for your cells to function properly, meaning you're burning calories. Meaning we can control our weight if we're watching our calories that we're taking in, which will make us lose weight, fat weight. And because of the resistance training, we're building lean muscle. And what that means, we're utilizing the sugar in our blood from the food we're taking in. So we're lowering our risk of diabetes, and we're also releasing nitric oxide to vasodilate our capillaries, arteries, and veins, so there's less pressure to go through with the blood, lowering our blood pressure. See how it all links together? There's so much more behind the scenes when it comes to exercise than just vanity. I'm more interested in what's going on inside the body to help you promote a healthier lifestyle, and because of that, those results will show on the outside. So we're at the end of the video. Once again, I just want to give a friendly reminder to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It really helps my channel grow. It really means a lot. So I'm Adam the Trainer. Until next time, keep breaking through.